Hello and welcome. My name is Marc Blatstein, the physician founder of Physician Presentence Report Service. The probation officer is the most important person in your life, more important than the judge, because the probation officer who writes your pre-sentence report and interviews you, then writes the report, can influence the judge as to your sentence. So that's a pretty big deal. And so I'm going to go. This is an article written what judges want to know ahead of time, but I'm going to come to the bottom to what I feel is important. And so here we go. Judge Patrick Schiltz says it's surprisingly how many otherwise competent attorneys punt at the sentencing hearing. Just to internalize that. It's it's probably the most important event of your life. And that interview that leads to the sentencing is going to determine what happens in front of the judge at your hearing. Judge Robert Scalia writes that as attorneys should take out a page out of the book from our death penalty colleagues. And he advised, do not wait to think about sentencing advocacy. In other words, 99% of one's criminal clients will be facing sentencing. Start preparing for the case for sentencing early on. What is early on? That means as soon as you meet with your attorney. And so this is why I'm starting out critically at this particular point here. Next, I'm going to say, let me get rid of this because I didn't expect that to be there. Is it the BOP formulary is generic. And being generic, if it's on formulary, it means it's on the drug list and you likely will get it, but your chances increase if in fact it's in your pre-sentence report. And so this here, I'm going to make this larger, is how they view the formulary and the drugs that they use within the federal prison. And the BOP formulary is a list of medications considered by the organization's professional staff to ensure high quality and being cost effective for the populations they serve. So on formulary means that it's generic, it's on their list, but you make sure you want to have it included in your pre-sentence report or mention it at your interview, because if it's not in your pre-sentence report, they may not give it to you right off the bat. Non-formulary drugs, they have them too. They're generic, but you're not going to get them. And the only way you can get a non-formulary drug is if your physician goes through the entire formulary list and identifies drugs that would be appropriate and why each of those drugs had been tried and were not successful for continuity care. If the medications are on that list, they will not be available. But if the treating provider goes through every medication that's on formulary with their treating records, documenting why drug by drug, each medication that has been tried was unsuccessful, this will increase your chances of getting the non-formulary drug. The third type, first type is on formulary generic, second type, non-formulary generic. Third is what's called therapeutic substitutions. And these are drugs that are therapeutically equivalent. In other words, they produce the same outcome, but they're chemically different. And so here too, you need your attorney or a drug physician to go through the entire Bureau of Prisons drug list regarding the category of drugs that you're taking and make sure that they're available. And if they are on non-formulary, then this needs to be emphasized why the on-formulary drugs are not given. If they're not available, period, then it's important for both you to bring this up at the pre-sentence interview, have it in the pre-sentence report, and then have your attorney bring it up during sentencing in the memorandum, because if in fact the judge in the order knows that the drugs are not going to be available to you, And if your health begins to deteriorate in prison, this could be the opportunity or open the door for you to approach compassionate release through Second Look Act. And that is a completely another YouTube. And not available, we've been through that. Not available, caveat is many judges believe that the Bureau of Prisons covers all medical issues. They don't. Unfortunately, following COVID-19, the cracks were evident in this theory. How it's great to have an excellent policies and procedures, but only if they're followed and implemented. Staffing shortages abound, and they abound today this is July 25th, 2024. It can cause medical care delays and sometimes fail to provide the needed care in a timely fashion. Medical second opinions can take up to 36 months. So then you wait 3 years, then they take you to a outside specialist outside the prison. The outside specialist, writes his recommendation. The clinical director of your particular prison is not obligated to follow those recommendations. And I will say to here is that we'll come to clinical directors are expected to support the BOP National Formulary to ensure compliance at their respective organization or institution. The clinical director, CD, is expected to review all requests, ensuring that the appropriate and justification corresponding to non-formula criteria are met. That needs to be done before your pre-sentence interview so it gets into your pre-sentence report. It's expected that the clinical director will allow the pharmacist to appropriately comment and provide pertinent information on the request, even if not supported. It is expected that the clinical director will disapprove at the local level and any request which does not meet the non-formulary use criteria. Institution pharmacists are expected to review all medication orders for formulary compliance, that is on formulary. This will include all of the non-formulary requests for completeness and appropriate justification, which needs to be in your pre-sentence report. And if applicable, commenting on information provided by the prescriber regarding non-formulary use criteria. Okay, it's a very big deal if it happens to be you. If the Bureau of Prisons will ignore it, and I have a case where the judge said, and the judge admitted in court that the Bureau of Prisons, will likely not provide this particular medication. And if that's the case, then compassionate release through Second Look Act is a very big thing. And so there's also something called the administrative remedy process. Administrative remedy process is a process where the Bureau of Prisons encourages you to air your grievances. They start with the BP-8, which is a casual conversation with your case manager. Then you request what's called a BP-9, and I have a whole YouTube just on this, and it's on my website. The BP-9 is the exact same request. In this case, it's medication related, worded to the warden. The warden can go ahead and deny the request, in which case you go to BP-10, which is to your region, the same exact reason for the request. And if that's denied, it goes to Washington, D.C. or the BP's main offices. But guess what? You can go from BP-9 directly to skip 10 and 11 and go to 2241, which is taking this to your court, to the judge, through compassionate release, hopefully with your attorney's help. So who are you contacting? Well, right here is the leaders of the Deputy Director, Federal Bureau of Prisons, and you're going to come up to the Assistant Director of Health Services is a pharmacist. I don't know that I was able to identify the actual administrator of health services. And in addition to all of this, you've gone to your regional directors, which I discussed. And here's Regional Director of Northeast Region, Regional Director of North Central, Mid-Atlantic, Southeastern, South Central, and Western Region. They're all there. Additionally, your lawyers may want to connect with BOP attorneys. And the BOP attorneys are right here. And let's make this big again. And so here are the BOP councils. Again, it goes by region, Mid-Atlantic region, North Central, South Central. And these are their names and phone numbers. And, this is where your attorneys can do work on their own from the outside. Plus, there's a lot that your family or loved ones can do. The disconnect to me, though, is that all of these issues should be resolved before you have a medical emergency while you're in prison. That is, to me, is trying to fix the problem after you have a medical event, which doesn't make sense to me. But unfortunately, there are judges that believe that the Federal Bureau of Prisons can provide all care. I hope this was not too confusing. You can get all this information is on my website. Again, court orders recommending or ordering specific treatments or medications should be referred to appropriate BOP attorneys. These orders are recommendation. They're not the BOP is not going to take a judge's order regarding anything medical care related. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you have a good day and stay healthy. Any questions or comments? My information is located here on the video as well as on my website at pprsus.com. Again, thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.